Hello everyone, I'm your biology teacher. In this video, we are going to study chapter 1, transport system in plants. Transport of food and minerals in plants. That is the heading is given in this chapter. And in plants, the transport system is mainly needed for two main reasons that you already learned in lower classes. Okay, now the learning objectives of the chapter is transport system in plants and absorption of water and minerals. In plants, the transport system is mainly needed for two main reasons. And look at that, what are the two main reasons for transport of water and minerals? That is absorbing by the roots from the soil and for transportation of food, and that food is prepared by the leaves to different parts of the plant. And the process and everything you already learned in lower classes, that means photosynthesis and everything. But according to our topic, we are going to discuss about transport of food and minerals in plants. Then we know that in comparison to animals, plants do not need a specific type of transport system, but the materials through a much longer distance as compared to animal. That means the materials are traveling through a much longer distance as compared to animals. For example, in tall trees, water travels from the roots to the top of the tree, and that is about 20-meter tall. And transport of materials in plants is less complex as compared to that in animals. So this is the introduction of this chapter. So let us go to that, the next topic of the chapter. That means transport system in plants. Unlike animals, plants do not have a living connective tissue like that the blood is transporting and that contain minerals, and that is reaching into various body parts, and transportation in plants that is carried out by a well developed system. That means well developed transportation system is there. So that system is called a vascular system. So the transport system in plants is carried out by a well developed system, and that system is known as vascular system. And this vascular system consists of two special types of tissues, and the name of that two special types of tissues are xylem and phloem. And first we are going to discuss about xylem. What's the meaning of xylem, and what's the function of xylem, and like that. So the xylem is conducting water and dissolved minerals from the roots to the leaves of a plant. And the xylem is composed of, that's made up of tracheids, vessel elements, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fibers. I repeat, the xylem, that is a conductive tissue, and this xylem conducting water and dissolved minerals from where to where? From the roots to the leaves of a plant. And the xylem is composed of tracheids, vessel elements, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fibers. So now we are going to discuss one by one these all the special, that means what are the tissues are composed with, what are the tissues are composed with the xylem. Okay, first one, that means tracheids. Tracheids are long and thin and dead cells that is connected together the tapered end of a plant, and their cell wall contains lignin. And this lignin is helping. And what's the function of lignin? That provides structural support to the xylem. The next is vessel elements. Vessel elements are the tube-like dead cells and that are connected together end to end. And they are wider and shorter than tracheids and form a long tube-like structure also there. So these are the first two tissues is composed with the xylem, and the next next is a xylem parenchyma. Xylem parenchyma means these are the only living components of xylem tissues, and they conduct water and store food for the plant. This is the living, that means there's a special tissue is that xylem parenchyma. These are only the living component of the xylem tissue, and they are conducting water and storing food. So these are the functions. Next is xylem fibrous, and the xylem fibers are sclerenchymatous fibers, and that is connected with the tracheids and vessels. And here also dead cells are there, and thick cell walls we can see there. And this is function of this one is providing strength to the xylem tissue. And the diagram is also showing here, that means tracheid. And we can see that some other structures also there, that vessel element is there. So now we are going to the next topic. So this is completed here. That means the xylem is conducting, that the xylem conducting water, and that's the dissolving minerals from the conducting not only water, that's dissolved minerals also carrying from the roots to the leaves of a plant. And this xylem is composed of tracheids, vessel element, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fibers. And this is over now. Then we are going to the next topic, that means the differences between tracheids and vessel elements. So three differences are mentioned here, and the differences are: first one, tracheids are non-living cells, and we know that this non-living cells of tracheids is made with a lignified cell walls. Lignin is present. So the next vessel elements means these are long and tube-like cells. And the second difference is tracheids, their end walls remain intact. But in vessel elements, the end walls are perforated plates. We can see that everything in that the previous diagram. And that is, these perforated plates are helping for the free movement of water and minerals between the cells. And tracheids walls are very thick, but that with a narrow lumen is also present there. But in vessel elements, the walls of vessel elements are less thick and have a wider lumen. They are just opposite. Tracheids walls are very thick, and vessel elements, that is a less thick. And this having, the tracheids having a narrow lumen, but in case of vessel elements, that's the lumen is wider. So next one. Next is another tissue. That means we know that special types of tissues we can see in plants and in the vascular system, that is a transportation system of in a plants. And the second is phloem. Phloem means that phloem we can see in the different parts. So that means in most of all parts of the plant. Phloem is found in all parts of the plant, and it is made up of a tubular cells, and these tubular cells are living, and this is providing or helping to the passage of sugar, organic compounds, and minerals. And this passage is happening in a downward movement. That means passage for downward movement of sugar, organic compounds, and minerals. And next is the phloem consists of, again, what are the structures? Seed tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. And again, we are going to, this is the second tissue. That means a second vascular tissue is a phloem, and this phloem consists of some other structures. And look at that. These one by one we are going to discuss now. The first one is sieve tubes. Sieve tubes means these are long and slender and living cells. And in that we can see in all flowering plants. And what are the other speciality of that? The sieve tubes have perforated ends and that form the sieve plates. And the sieve plates are allowing the plant sap to diffuse easily from one cell to another cell. So I repeat, sieve tubes, these are long, slender and living cells. This is connecting end to end and form a tube-like structure. And this is helping for the conduction of food materials throughout the plant body. And we can see that in flowering plants, especially. And the sieve plates are allowing the plant sap to diffuse easily from cell to cell. And the second one is companion cells. Companion cells means these cells are specialized parenchyma cells. And this is located outside and alongside of the sieve tubes. And these are connected by a number of channels to the sieve tubes. And the difference is also mentioned here, and more explanation is not here, like that phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers that you will study in higher classes. Okay, now this two types of vascular tissues part is over, and next one is the difference. One difference is also mentioned here, that means the difference between this xylem and phloem. And first difference, xylem conduct water and dissolved minerals, but phloem conducts food prepared by the leaves. And xylem is acting as a conducting channel, and tracheids and vessel elements. And these tracheids and vessel elements are acting as a conducting channel. And phloem is also the conducting channel, and the channel is a sieve tubes. Conduction is mostly unidirectional forms in xylem. In unidirectional forms of conduction, mostly we can see in the xylem, that means from the roots to the leaves only. But conduction bidirection we can see in phloem. That means from leaves to growing parts or storage organs and vice versa. Okay, that means in opposite ways also can be seen. Then xylem, that means four xylem elements are there: tracheids, vessel elements, xylem fibers. These are dead, and only xylem parenchyma is only living, and all others are dead cells. Then phloem, four phloem elements we can see. That's four phloem elements: sieve tubes, companion cells, four phloem parenchyma, and these are also living. Only phloem fiber is dead here. Then in addition to the conduction in xylem, xylem provides one more function is there. That means a mechanical support to the plant. And the function of phloem is that performing mechanical function that does not perform. That means phloem is not giving any kind of a mechanical function or support to the plant. It acting as only as the conduction tissue. So these are the main difference between xylem and phloem. Next. Next is absorption of, that's the next part. That means we know that already we discussed about two learning objectives here, and transportation system in plants is over now. That means transport system or vascular system. Mainly the topic is related with the two special types of tissue, that was the xylem and phloem. That topic is over. Now we are going to discuss in another part, that's absorption of water and minerals. And there are two main aspects are here in the transportation in plants, and the aspects are absorption of water and dissolved minerals, and the next is conduction of water and dissolved minerals. So first aspect is absorption, and the next one is conduction. We know that plants have a branching shaped body, so that all the plant cells get carbon dioxide for photosynthesis and oxygen for respiration, and from the air through diffusion, like that many process. So here diffusion and osmosis, these two processes we are going to discuss now. And we know that these are the two important physical phenomena. And these two physical phenomena are leading to carry out both the process of transportation in plants. These are playing an important role, these two processes. So let's look at what are the process and what's the definition and what is explaining here. And it is a process. First one is diffusion. Diffusion is a process in which molecules are moving from the region of their higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. That means movement of molecule from higher concentration to the lower concentration. So that process is called diffusion. For example, one example is mentioned here with the help of diagram. We are going to add ink in the water. Then the ink molecules diffuse into the water. Then after that, evenly that occupying intermolecular spaces of water, and slowly that water turn in a blue color. That means we are added blue color ink in the water. So look at that first A. Particles are moving from higher concentration to lower concentration. Then after some time, these particles are equally distributed in the solution. So this is an example is showing here the process of diffusion. I repeat, diffusion means it is a process. That means the molecules are moving from the region. That means from the higher region, that means of their higher concentration to the region of a lower concentration. That means movement from the region of their higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. And now we are going to discuss about then another phenomena, that is osmosis. And the definition of this osmosis also, that one word is also we need to add there. That means a semi-permeable membrane. Otherwise, the process is like that. Some similarity is there in the definition. Look at that. The movement of water molecules from a region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. And look at that. This is the next part. Next word is important. Through a semi-permeable membrane. In this process, the process of osmosis, what is needed there? Semi-permeable membrane is needed. So that's called, that process of phenomena is called osmosis. So first was the movement of water molecules from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. That was diffusion. Now we need to add through a semi-permeable membrane. It's called osmosis. For example, we are going to place some raisins in a cup of warm water. We know that automatically after some time, what will happen there? That the size of the raisins will become increase. So what is the reason for that? Because of the water molecules are moves from the cup. That means from the cup we are taken water in the cup and put in some raisins in that water. After some times that the size of the raisin will become uh, increase because of the water molecules moves from the cup into the raisins through a membrane. And here membrane is there through the membrane of raisins. So that process is known as osmosis. Listen, that's what the diagram is showing. Semi-permeable membrane is also there, and a concentrated sugar solution. And here sugar solution is mentioned there. And in osmosis, dilute sugar solution. But that is the previous one is a common example. We know that. That means raisins. When we place some raisins in a cup of warm water, then increasing the size after some time because of water molecules moving from the cup into the raisins through the membrane. That membrane also we can see in the where? On, yes, the tiny holes is acting as, and the surface of this resin we can see a tiny small holes, and that is acting as a membrane, and this is allowing only water molecules to pass through it, and that process is a osmosis. So here that higher concentration, that means moving from higher concentration, that higher concentration means from the cup and moving to the lower concentration, that means into the resin and through a membrane, and membrane we can see that means tiny holes in the membrane, then that's acting as a semi-permeable membrane, and the process is called osmosis. So this is the last topic we am included in this video, and the second part of the same chapter that will be repeated next video. But before that, one more topic is there, that means diffusion and osmosis. We know that the main difference, diffusion can occur in any medium, that means in solid or in liquid or in gas, but osmosis can occur only in a liquid medium. And diffusion, that's a semi-permeable membrane, is not essential there, but osmosis, presence of semi-permeable membrane, that is a necessity. Okay, thank you. I'm going to winding up this video.